What's up, YouTube? Back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about just how much the world has really changed since 2020. And in particular, we're going to be talking about the job market. And at first, I'll just tell you just a little bit about myself and what I've done since then, or maybe even before. And I've worked all kinds of jobs from Walmart to Wendy's to CarMax to Toyota to selling solar panels to working at the Department of Justice to working at Yelp to working at a startup to working for a makeup company. I've done a lot of things, even more recently working at McKinsey, the consulting firm. I'll make a video about that another time, but really today I want to just talk about how much the job market has changed since 2020 and really even a little bit before that. So before 2020, like there was a time where if you knew somebody at a job, you could say, "Yo, hey, I'm trying to work there. Here's my resume." And they would slide that along to the manager. And odds are you would at least get a conversation with somebody. You would at least have a phone call, maybe even go inside for an interview. And oftentimes, if your resume was good enough, this was enough to get you an interview. And if you could nail the interview, then the job was yours. I remember before, like, if I wanted to interview somewhere, if I wanted to get a job somewhere, all I needed was to know somebody who worked there, and it was just a guarantee. And that's no longer the case. So, pretty much when 2020 came around and everybody had to go inside, that was like the shift to remote work. And like everybody was working from home, and it was good for a while. I mean, I even did it. Almost everybody I know did it, and some people lost their jobs because they couldn't do it. But the point is that it had a lot of pros and cons. Yes, you could stay home and you could work on things around the house. You could take care of the family. You could do projects. You could maybe even get a side gig. But then the downside is you didn't really get a chance to spend a lot of time with your coworkers. You didn't really get a chance to even know some of the people that you're working with. So there was kind of a disconnect between the coworkers and just not being in a space where you could talk to them and work together. So that was a little strange. But if you fast forward to now, I mean, we are outside of 2022 where it was the great resignation where employers were begging for employees. And now you have employees begging for employers. And then they even say that employees can't find employers and employers can't find employees. Well, that just doesn't even make sense. So it leads me to believe, like, what are we really doing? And what is the future of work gonna look like? And unfortunately, that answer is just not pretty. I mean, because today, if you try to go online, or whether it's Indeed, whether it's LinkedIn, it's almost impossible to get a job. Like, I guarantee you, like, I don't know anybody right now who just got a new gig. They may have got a promotion, but I know so many people who are out of work and who have been out of work for months. I've been almost out of work for a year, and I'm coming from a consulting firm. And I put in application after application after application, and I can't even get a job to be a truck driver. I literally can't even get a job at Target. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are the college degrees worth anymore? What is the experience worth anymore? If I can't even do minimum wage type gigs, I live in New York, so I can't even do DoorDash. I can't even do Uber because my car's not registered here. They're not even accepting new Dashers, new Uber Eats drivers. You can't even do it. So it's like, what are people supposed to do? And as time goes on, that answer is starting to become more clear. And I think we're going to have to shift into this sort of gig or contract economy where you're just taking gigs and taking work whenever it pops up because that's the reality of the situation. I remember when I was working a 9 to 5, when I was working at BET, I was doing that on the side to supplement the salary that I was not getting. So now that's probably gonna have to be people's full time gigs. It's just gig work here, contract there. And the downside to that it's not guaranteed. You don't have any health insurance with that. A urgent care visit up here in New York costs $550. I went in there for my eye. I was in there less than 5 minutes, and this lady gave me some meds and sent me on my way. And they billed me for $550. Like, what is going on? What are we paying for? So, on top of the fact that you go on LinkedIn and you go in Indeed and you can't get a job, wages are not going up. I'm interviewing for some of these jobs, like business development jobs, manager jobs, and they're like, yeah, The job description is even more crazy than what I did before. And it's paying like 70K, 80K. While yes, that is a livable wage depending on where you live, and that's a pretty good salary. But for the amount of work that they're asking people to do for these salaries is just out of this world. And it leads me to believe, because I've been on so many interviews now where I'm just sitting on the other side of the screen. And that's another thing too. You can't get a feel for these people in person. I'm sitting on the other side of the screen and I'm giving all the right answers. I'm talking about how I'm gonna drive my work forward. I'm gonna be a supporter of the team. I'm gonna come with innovative ideas, whatever. And I know that it really just boils down to whether or not this person likes me or not. I mean, that's just really what it is. They're gonna hire you if they like you. And I'm just gonna be real for a second. I'm a black man, smart, intelligent, confident black man with a ton of experience. And if I'm sitting on the other side of the table or the other side of the screen with somebody who doesn't look like me, and they got a couple candidates who do look like them, why would they hire me? Like seriously, like on some real shit though. Like why would they hire me? So now what I think is gonna happen as you look into the future is like these applicant tracking softwares or these systems where you submit your resume and it scans for keywords to see whether or not they're gonna move you on to the next round or to the interviewer or whatever. I think these companies are gonna finally start to realize that, all right, this isn't working because we had spent millions of dollars on this software, but we're not getting any quality candidates. And what I think is gonna happen with that is it's gonna take them some time to actually realize and come to the grips with, we might have messed up. We spent a lot of money on these softwares and it's not producing the results that we need. So who's gonna come and say that? They're probably gonna lose their job. So I think it's gonna be like a trickle down effect or like a slower effect where companies come to realize, okay, this isn't working. And that leads me to my next point, which means I was listening talking to my sister the other day and she was talking about the future of work, and the co-founder of LinkedIn or something like that has said that by 2030 or 2032, jobs as we know it will not exist. I mean, yes, obviously there will still be some corporate jobs or what have you, but companies will exist with a skeleton workforce, a skeleton crew. They won't have a lot of employees, and their goal is to be as lean and efficient as possible. So I think that's the future that we're headed towards. And I think that your digital footprint, like you know how like when you go to Instagram or you go on social media and in the bio it has like a link tree and it says like click on this, or like 7 or 8 different links, whether it's your website, whether it's your Etsy, whether it's your Spotify or whatever. It's just a bunch of links on there. So I was talking to her and she was saying like, like I really think that in the future, that's probably gonna be like your resume. Like someone's gonna go to your Instagram or go to your TikTok or go to your X or whatever, and click on that link tree, and all of your work is gonna be on there, almost like a creative portfolio, but like maybe like a professional portfolio. Like yeah, maybe your resume's on there, but also maybe where you volunteered or what you do on the side or what your family business is or whatever, and try to hire candidates that way. But nonetheless, man, everything has been super weird since 2020. I'm probably gonna do another video talking about that and more specifically. But when it comes to work, I mean, there was a time where you could reach out to a mentor or you could reach out to somebody and they was gonna help you out and you could get a job. Now I'm talking to presidents, vice presidents, managing directors, executive directors, and they don't have no power anymore. I mean, I'm not hearing from anybody. I mean, what is the point of LinkedIn anymore? What is the point? I hate to say this, but what is the point of networking if can't nobody even help you out? I mean, yeah, they can give you some mentorship or whatever, but I'm not gonna go too far into that. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Let me know what other topics you want me to tackle. If you like this video, man, like this video, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'm gonna be coming back with you some more candid thoughts, some more relaxed videos like this, and just talk about what's on the top of my mind. So thank you for sticking around and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.